This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
I'd like you to tell me what and pray tell is going on the pre-space on Twitter. We would need to be on there right now listening to whatever the fuck Mafio Narwaffle or whatever the hell his name is saying. Good evening, welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking waka waka waka. It is it is a freaking Monday. How am I racist? Isn't he like Italian or some shit? I don't even know. Am I thinking he's Italian just because his name is Mario? Mario. Sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of a foreign name. Jesus. Everybody's all PC in my chat. How's a motherfucker named Warlord gonna fucking come in here and be all PC? We'll see who cancels who. Sparkles, good evening. Ponder Monkey, good evening. Welcome. We're on slightly early tonight. We're gonna do the little intro, and then at 8 o'clock we're going to take a. I have no idea. Is Italian not a race? The nationality, as far as I can tell, not a country. Good evening. Is the Italian? Is this offensive? I don't even know. Fucking, what do you know? Here's your meme of the day. Can't be racist against Italians. I had a different meme picked, but the other meme I had picked was kind of evergreen, and then I saw this one. I'm like, okay, that's funny. You know what else is funny? This woman who stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings. We've got some kids on bicycles attacking a man in LA. Jurors back in the juror box in the Young Thug trial restarted in Atlanta. I'm sorry, Hotlanta. The driver involved in a fatal crash that killed 2 people in Missouri, confused about his license status. I bet you are, sir. Show you footage of a hit and run in Hollywood in today's segment of What the Fuck is Going On in Fort Worth. A Fort Worth woman struck and killed a cop. You guys are going to love that. There was a earthquake in California. Trump back on Twitter. Also apparently worried about. Now this is an MSNBC report, so it's a little copium on their part, I would assume. Apparently Trump worried about Ohio, they are reporting. That's red meat for that base, right? But then a little later on, we're going to hear Fox News coping with the Harris campaign. They're saying that Obama is secretly calling the shots behind the scenes. Trump claiming that a picture of the Harris campaign was actually AI generated when it was not. Pretty sure that this picture of JD Vance in drag is not AI generated. The Secret Service is denying breaking into a salon in order to use the bathroom. And if you're really good, after the Elon Musk interview of Donald Trump, I have a police chase for you. All that and a lot of freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Welcome. Good evening, Libertad. Good evening. Has the Trump space gone live? Remember now, here's the thing. Socialist Aunt, good evening. Here's the thing. So we watched the DeSantis kickoff, which was hosted by Elon on X or Twitter. And it did not go well. It did not go well at all. It was a train wreck. So that's what I'm assuming is going to happen tonight with this Trump space. Is that what it is? I figured it was going to be a video interview. Apparently not. It's going to be this bullshit fucking Discord chat. Of course we're going to watch it, Torchy. Of course. That's why we're on early. Good evening, my friend. Before we get there, I guess we can cover a couple stories. That Karate Kid kick. I'm fascinated by this. I don't think you can call in. I don't think the space is open where people that aren't like moderated can talk. Phoebe, good evening. That's the way I would understand it, I think. Earlier today, people got the shock seeing Donald Trump, who has been unbanned on Twitter for a while, but actually using Twitter this morning.
Former President Donald Trump's campaign says Iran is behind a hack that gained access to what appeared to be its research on Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance. The material was sent to Politico and the Washington Post in late July from an anonymous email account. CBS News cybersecurity analyst Chris Krebs told Face the Nation moderator Margaret
Chris Krebs.
more cyber attacks are likely.
We have a long way to go in this election. Iran specifically seems to have advanced their efforts, moved them to the left perhaps a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Russia enter the fray soon.
Trump is also saying Vice President Harris used artificial intelligence to fake pictures showing large crowds at her rallies last week. But CBS News was one of the several news organizations on the campaign and verified crowd size estimates were accurate.
November 5th, 2024, justice will be done.
Trump also returned to X for the first time in nearly a year, posting
X
Monday ahead of his conversation with Elon Musk on the platform formerly known as Twitter. After a busy week of rallies with her VP pick, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Vice President Harris's campaign says she's working.
Okay, I thought he said Hervey P-Pick. I thought he was naming a person, Hervey P-Pick. But he actually said her VP pick, as in Kamala Harris. Herbie P-Pick.
Working on her economic policies, which will be unveiled this week. Governor Walz is expected to hold his first solo campaign event in Los Angeles Tuesday. Walz went after Trump during a stop in Las Vegas Saturday.
He'll gut Social Security, pull your health care, underfund public.
Peepus.
All of it. That's damn right. Damn right. We're not.
I'd vote for Harvey Peepus for president.
Union workers, a key constituency for the Democratic ticket. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
So Trump back on the Twitter. We are about 5 minutes away from Elon Musk interviewing former President Donald Trump. His VP pick, apparently sending, I thought it was an interview. It's supposed to be an interview. It said interview. There's a site you can use to make a bingo card. You are more than welcome to share a bingo card. DJ Dub, good evening. Musky Trump over here. Lucky, good evening. JD Vance drag photo sends internet into meltdown. A photograph appearing to show Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance dressed in drag has gone viral on social media. The unconfirmed image appears to show the Ohio senator dressed in women's clothing, wearing a blonde wig. The image is reported to have been taken in 2012 by one of Vance's classmates while he was studying at Yale Law School, according to the Daily Beast. It was subsequently sent to podcast host Matt Bernstein, who posted it on Twitter. New, I have obtained a photo of J.D. Vance in drag while at Yale Law School. Bernstein wrote on Sunday. I don't even know that could be considered drag. That could be like, a Viking costume or some shit. Just a wig. A model and actor who's transgender wrote on X, "Yo, JD Vance, you look slay, mama. What's your drag name? Sofa Loren?" Quesadilla, good evening. Holiday, good evening. Well, to be fair, he does use excessive eye makeup. Apparently, everybody else believes he is also wearing eyeliner. I am pretty certain he's wearing eyeliner. Don't forget, we are 1 week away exactly this time next week. We're going to be asshole deep in the DNC, the Democratic National Convention. Kicking off 1 week from today. The RNC was a crazy fucking event. Hopefully the DNC will be saner and better entertainers. Hopefully we'll have better musical acts. The DNC 1 week from tonight. I will be here to bring you all the coverage. Hopefully, can you imagine what it would have been like if Joe Biden was still the nominee? Can you imagine? I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have known what to expect. It would have been doom and gloom. I do have the Trump Twitter space up, ready to go. 1.2 million views already. If you guys were not with us for the launch of the Ron DeSantis campaign, it was a complete fucking disaster, and I expect nothing less from this event here tonight. Am I in it, though? What do I have to do? Ciao! Thank you. I appreciate the recommendation for cheap viewers. What do you mean left it to the last minute and now can't get in? What, you telling me it's full? I'm pretty cheap. How are you doing an event with a presidential candidate and like you're telling me I can't get in? That it's full or some shit. Are you serious? No idea what I did over here. Yeah, we totally streamed the DeSantis campaign launch. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be a complete disaster. I can't even fucking this website. Oh my god. $100,000 limit. Well, gee, Elon. Seriously? I don't even think it's up anymore. I don't know what you're talking about. Indeed, it's a piece of shit website. Oh, Holiday, you're in? Shit. This fucking site sucks. I had it up. I didn't know I had to do anything else. I don't fucking... It's 8:02. Apparently all it's playing right now is music. I'll see if one of the news organizations is covering it.
I think this is a spammy one, but
I fucking other people are having a hard time with getting in. The Tesla website says it's streaming something. If this is even the real Tesla website. TrumpLive.org.
This is your chance to change your financial future.
Yeah, I don't think that's live.
Just scan the QR code and double your crypto assets.
Oh my god. Oh, this is fucking AI. Ah ha ha ha. Ah ha ha. That's amazing. It sure does look like the official Tesla website.
Watching this interview, don't miss the chance to witness a historic moment. This video will become the subject of discussions and analysis by experts worldwide. The premiere is coming soon. Stay tuned for our announcements.
Oh no. This live interview starting soon. This is Tesla USA. But is this even the real? It's like less than 50,000 followers. Also seems scammy. I think there's just all kinds of pages labeled Tesla.
Now all of a sudden she's up on Trump by 5, 6, 7 points. Man, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I mean, that's
like he's in the space. How can you have an event with the president or former president? Anybody would like to feed me audio if you are in through Discord? Let's see,
It's like you have. Alex Jones also does not have it. I will have it. Trust me.
the quartering can't get in either.
Lose my attention. Okay, well, here's what I could tell you. As we wait for hopefully some level of, update here from Elon.
Some update from Elon.
Yeah, Luke Rudkowski saying this is another disaster like what we saw with yes, I would agree. Space not available. They're probably resetting all the servers. I don't know if you saw this. Listen to the press. They're so worried about this. Okay, here's what the press had to say. They're literally trying. This is a report.
Literally.
From the Washington Post.
Elon Musk is slated to interview Donald Trump tonight on X. I don't know if the president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that or stopping the spread of
Quartering does more news than Justin. Bullshit.
Intervening in that? Some of that was about campaign.
He's literally.
How do you figure?
Like, he's literally asking.
Good evening.
130 people already waiting for this to start. I mean, how are these people in?
I don't think this is real. I think this is a scam.
It's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here about the responsibilities that social media platforms have when it comes to.
How do I even get in?
Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it, but we believe that they have the responsibility. These are private companies, so we're also mindful of that too.
Even people that are getting into the space are getting kicked out.
Incredibly important to call that out as you're doing. I just don't have any specifics on what we.
Oh, libs at TikTok can't get in.
Relates to the interviews, and that's something that I'm tracking, and I'm sure the president's not tracking it either.
How I knew this was what was gonna happen.
Cannot fetch space. So. Let's see.
This will go down as one of the greatest interviews in U.S. history. Bullshit.
Extends to every individual worldwide.
No, that's another. People keep spamming the crypto scam.
Yep.
Stick with me, folks. Stick with me. The second the interview starts, we will have it.
No, you're not.
Working on it.
You're not going to have it.
Just so you guys know, I cover breaking news.
Sure you do, Jeremy.
Eastern. I also do additional streams when news breaks like this. So if you want someone who covers...
When Twitter breaks. No, if you want somebody that covers the fucking news, it's right here on the Troll Patrol Live. This is amazing. Exactly what I would expect to happen. When I click on it, it fucks Twitter up, and then yeah, I'm fucked. Nope.
Follow button down below right now.
We don't want to go back to Jeremy. We'll go Twitter. Donald Trump. Yeah, what a fucking flop. Oh, god damn it. It doesn't work. Guy comment. No, it's a fucking flop. Oh, the being libertarian. Who wants to bet the NSA is doing this? I like Louis KC over here. Next time, maybe an opening act instead of techno music. We can't even hear the techno music. Apparently it's going on. Some woman said he's muted. We are definitely not in the space. Did Hassanbi get in? Oh, he's in Trump's space. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to get to fucking I hate this website. I hate this website with a burning passion. Twitter fucking sucks. Glad to know it's a fucking huge disaster, though. It doesn't even say he's live anymore. Holy fuck. I think they might have ended this space. Oh, no. It does say he's live. It's just a shitty fucking site. God, I hate Twitter. Insane. I wonder, can I go to DonaldTrump.com? Not really anything in here. Trump interview redirect. I hate watching other streamers, but did Hassan make it in? Is he live? I'd like to hear what's going on. He's not live right now. What the fuck? Oh no, there he is.
Turn on rock.
Oregon gal. Some people are in. That's what I think Hassan's in. I don't know what this shit is that keeps fucking the page up. God, Twitter's so horrible.
They burned down our White House once. We won't let them do it again.
Oh, is it still on the wait music?
Stay up there with your goddamn health care and your fucking...
I don't understand what I need to do to get inside the space.
Good. Are you on mobile? You can't speak on Twitter Space on desktop? Yes, you. Space on desktop? Yes, you can. Why wouldn't I be able to?
Hate watching other streamers, but
we're building a goddamn wall.
I'd like to know what's going on in that there Donald Trump space.
I suspect that the rest of Twitter will inevitably break as well, by the way, because, you know, fucking it's ass. It's a stupid ass fucking website run by a stupid ass donkey.
I mean, the man's got a point. Stupid ass website run by a stupid ass donkey.
Someone is blackmailing Elon Musk. For your information, Elon Musk, if I don't get my account back, I'm sending your dealer's number to Grimes' mom. This sounds like a bluff. He lives in the art district and the number ends in 43. Wait, what? What the fuck? Tesla US channel has it. No, it doesn't. Shut up, dumbass.
It doesn't.
It does not. It's a crypto scam.
It sure is.
God damn.
God, I keep fucking the Twitter up somehow.
It's already so fucking bunk.
I think this is the waiting music.
How do I... The page is accessing your microphone? How do I stop that?
Who knows? It's fucking Twitter.
I'm a little worried.
You should be, Hassan. Will this work better on like Google Chrome?
I want to vote for Donald Trump now. This music has got me in the groove, dude. Maybe it's hypnosis? Have you thought about that? There ain't no way this ever goes live. We are now officially 17 minutes in. We are officially 17 minutes in. What if Ken Carson just started playing? Just a thought, in my opinion. If Ken Carson just started playing, I would vote for Donald Trump. New York Times live feed. We are trying every way possible to access the stream. By phone, desktop, in the app, in the browser. And most of us reporters are having trouble getting it to work. We are most likely not the only ones.
No, you're not.
Scammers on other streaming platforms have tried to take advantage of the confusion on X by creating fake streams mimicking Musk's voice to persuade people to buy cryptocurrency.
Yep, that's true. I think this is an even bigger disaster than Ron DeSantis because there wasn't even 1 million people for Ron DeSantis.
Hey, New York Times reporters, tune into the Hasanabe broadcast. You can watch it here, okay?
Apparently.
Don't worry about it. I got you, baby.
Thank you, Hassan. Oh, God, Twitter is crashing.
I knew how fucking unimaginably incompetent this dingus is. And I knew this shit was gonna crash, so I was like, at least I'll be in there 30 minutes prior before this shit starts. I clicked on it as soon as the link was available.
I guess I should have too. I forget about fucking...
It's a DDoS attack? Oh, hell nah. There appears to be a massive DDoS attack on X. Working on shutting it down. Worst case, we will proceed with a smaller number of live listeners and post the conversation later. Oh, hell nah.
There's no DDoS attack. There's just 1 million people. 20.5 million people tuning in.
How can you not foresee this?
You stupid fuck.
You can verify this independently.
Wow.
It's not a massive direct denial of service attack.
It's just a bunch of people.
In, and your website is not capable of handling it. It's just people trying to get in, dumbass.
My God.
Yeah. I fucking called it. Oh, no.
Amazing.
Distributed denial of service, not direct. My bad. I'm not a nerd. Shut up. And neither is Elon, despite the fact that he tries to appear as a
Gonna
nerd.
post the conversation later.
What is this? Engineer in charge of X Spaces right now. Bro, stop. Stop posting. Everybody stop tweeting. The website can't handle it. Stop tweeting.
No, tweet more. Tweet more.
Break the whole website.
Do not listen to Hassan. Tweet more.
Stop tuning into the goddamn space.
Nope.
Stop it. Chat, don't do it. Everyone hold.
Shut up, Hassan. You're not the boss of me. $22.2 million. Yeah, the DeSantis thing. I don't even feel like that was 100,000 people, was it?
Stand by. It's not actually
Insane.
on YouTube.
Insane.
Yo, this is a jam though. I'm not even.
Oh my god. Hassan's getting into it. I'm not high enough for this shit.
Today. It's already been debunked a million times from Sunday. And
Oh! It restarted. Dude, every time it stops, I get scared. Every time.
Oh, he meant the song. No one is high enough for this shit. I'm gonna have to grab my bong. I don't know what to do. I've got a car chase for you guys after this.
Remember in the aftermath of every single thing that I said about the Discord, every single thing that I said about
Yep, let's hit this.
DeSantis' failure still remains in this circumstance. Remember, websites
This is worse.
are completely capable, like normal websites are completely capable of handling this level of traffic. Okay? Like eBay had 3.8 million live concurrent viewers. Okay? YouTube does it on a daily basis. Fucking Kick was able to handle it because it's their back end. They're using AWS on the back end. You cannot tell me that this is a competent human being running a real website. Okay?
Twitch absolutely can handle this.
I feel like at this point, Elon Musk is a secret Marxist operation to show as many people that is paying attention.
No, he's not that smart.
The most incompetent morons on the planet.
He really is just a dumb motherfucker.
Destroy every Republican. Okay? It is crazy. He did this with Ron DeSantis and then didn't even, like, what did you do? Did you just pack it up and then never think about tweaking it?
I can't believe they were doing this in this spaces bullshit. Why wouldn't you just broadcast a video?
No sense.
The spaces clearly doesn't work. Ducky, good evening.
True Social. It appears Elon Musk and Donald Trump interview on X is being overwhelmed with listeners logging in. The last information we have heard is the interview should begin in less than 20 minutes. Thank you.
My God. Dougie, did I tell you good evening? I just took a gigantic bong rip. If you're just joining us, we were trying to watch the Donald Trump Elon Musk interview.
The system with 8 million concurrent listeners earlier today.
Well, there's like 20 million right now. I just took a gigantic bong rip, so I don't know what's going on.
It's so good. It's so perfect. It's so fucking perfect.
And I don't want to have to watch Hassan, but I want to know what's going on with his Twitter space. And he's like the only person that's in.
Never fail, Republicans. Never fail.
Like everyone fucking else is not in this bullshit. But Hassan, that is the waiting music for the Twitter Spaces.
Elon blaming it on the Dems. Bro, stop tweeting. Stop tweeting and fix the website, you animal. You goddamn ape. You fucking donkey. What are you doing? This man only has one speed. Fix the fucking website, stupid. He's like, oh no, I'm just gonna post through it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, apparently Elon is tweeting while this is going on. Trump has posted to Truth Social.
What the fuck?
I knew it was gonna be a mess. I told Sparkles it was gonna be a train wreck. I'm pretty sure I said it in the Discord.
Murad?
Hey, Sparkles. It is not a DDoS attack. It's just a lot of people tuning in to watch it. And they ain't got the fucking technical competency to handle it. I don't know if it's a bandwidth issue. I don't know if it's a server issue. I don't know the tech specs on what's going on. But it is incompetence on that end. Anonymously, good evening. Making s'mores on the dumpster fire. Well, yeah, a DDoS attack is basically like a bunch of people trying to overwhelm a system. But, like, this isn't a DDoS attack would be malicious. They're intentionally trying to overload a system with too much traffic. This is just people genuinely tuning in to watch. And this isn't malicious. This is just incompetency by the hosting site. Amazing. An organic bottleneck because it doesn't have the infrastructure. I do not understand why he wouldn't just broadcast a video. What is the need to utilize this Twitter Spaces? Are you telling me that the Donald Trump Twitter account couldn't just go live with a video? Well, I have 5, Warlord. And there's a pack on sale on the PlayStation Store right now. But it's not the remake of 3. Or the remaster, or whatever it is. It's the original version. And then one of them was like the pocket version or something. I was like, well, I don't want this. I want to get the big badass remake. One of these days I will actually fucking get into the game, but right now I'm coming off of Red Dead. So I'm not going to want a fucking long ass game. I'm going to want something that's, like a 20-hour little romp after I get done with Red Dead. I might play a couple little 20-hour romps. Then I'll go and I'll play like another fucking massive ass game. Ah!
Where? It's 8:30 ET right now. Wait, do I still get it? Do I still get access? Because I was in early?
I ain't got no access, I don't think. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa!
Get into the new space? There's a new space? Where?
Oh shit, guys, we are in. We're here, but we don't have any audio yet. The music just cut off there.
It's the one I'm in. It's the one I'm in.
Hassan still got music. I'm in the thing, you can see. Don't see a mute button. I requested to speak. Huh. I'm not gonna click got it on that clip a moment in space thing. Yes, this is the space. When I clicked this, that's when it went away. So we're just gonna stick right here right now. Are we going to get to listen to this? Light one up, tip one back. For those of you on Twitch, I'm going to go ahead and hit a commercial break. Hopefully you don't miss anything. Get it out of the way real fast. What a grift sounds like is a song. The song's the best part of this. You can all agree, right? I think Hassan was on to something. Like it is kind of a banger. Especially when it kicks in here in a second. Holiday says no. Boop 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 boop. I feel like there's a little banjo in the background. Is BBC in? Is everybody in now? Uh-oh. Oh shit. Buck, good evening. This is the Elon Musk interview with Donald Trump live on Twitter Spaces. They cut the mic off?
Oh my God. Oh my God. He's jerking it. He's jerking his peanuts. He's jerking his peanuts. Huh.
So yeah, not on my end. Hassan also has no audio. Anytime now, jorking his peanuts. It's already a train wreck. It's been a train wreck for 36 minutes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my
This is
God.
amazing. This is literally amazing. Holy shit. I can't believe it, dude. This is actually amazing. That's crazy. This is so perfect. This is so perfect. Wait. Fuck.
Where's that music coming from?
God, what is the song that they're playing?
They're playing?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's pulling some bullshit or something, isn't he? Kelly, good evening. This is just... We request to speak again. Ice House, good evening. This is the biggest interview in history, and now we're asking you to make this President Trump's biggest fundraising day. So this is just a fundraiser. Not even any kind of interview. It's just a fundraiser. Let me speak. Let me speak. Is that Christopher Rufo? I bet. No. Tony. I should have known it was a fundraiser. Let me speak.
Whoa.
We're in. Complete disaster. Don't worry, I have a police chase to play after this. You know I take care of you. I got police chase and news. Venus, good evening. Ain't gonna let you guys out of here without a police chase and the news. You can see that Trump and Elon are both muted at the moment. I have sent in my request to talk. I don't think they're going to let me. Oh, good Lord, what would I ask him? If I could ask Donald Trump anything, what would I ask Donald Trump? What that ass do? You know, if I could ask Donald Trump anything, it would be, sir, if you could provide me with a way to be able to piss in Dan Crenshaw's eye pussy, then I will flip on a dime, I will leave the left, and I will vote for you. I've said it many, many times. I have no principles. Oh shit!
All right, hello everyone. So, my apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack.
No, you didn't.
Our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition.
Not high enough for this shit.
Just hearing what President Trump has to say, and
Iran did it.
I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like.
Tag another one.
It's hard to catch up.
I liked it better when he was muted.
If you just don't hear them talk in a normal way, and when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. So this is really aimed at kind of open-minded, independent.
Elon's telling you he's gonna suck his ass. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation. So honored to Donald, great to speak. We had a great conversation yesterday. As you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it, it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people. And that's
what?
We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices.
I see 149,000.
Something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, maybe with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying, fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is America. That is strength under fire. And
ain't that America?
A big,
Hi there, good evening.
Why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest.
Pleasant.
I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very. I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody you have instances like this or like a lot less than this where you feel it's a surreal situation. and I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, "Bullets, bullets!" Get down, because I moved down pretty nice.
Good night, Luggy.
And we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down.
We're doing a car chase after this, but I don't know how long this will last.
In the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those people that don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle, and all because I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart even more now.
Maybe it's a sign. Maybe that's a sign.
It's an immigration sign.
He thinks hating on immigrants saved his life.
At that moment.
That's right.
The bullet missed your, hit your ear, but missed your head. I mean,
I got like cat hair in my nose.
The sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration, and it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good, and after that it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great trumper.
A great trumper.
Just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, I'd like to give the family some kind of help. And I said, that's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And, she said, this is really nice, but I'd rather have my husband back, which is somebody to say, to be honest. She's great. The family is great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area, I tell you, they were incredible. They saved the two, and they were really hit tough, both of them, equally. And we thought, my first question was because I heard bullets flying over me, and I said, how many people were killed? Because we had a massive...
Is that some Revelation shit you're dropping on Sky Comment?
Thousands and thousands of people, and there was no land. I mean, it was all people. So I said, how many people have been killed? Because I knew there were other shots being fired. And they said, we don't know yet, but some people have been badly hurt. And I have to give the
Revelations 13
sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because he didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium. And he saw the smoke and the flame from the gun.
The shooter was 130?
Recognized it and immediately took a shot. And it was
as in 130 from
perfect
Trump?
Shot from very far away. And if he didn't do that...
Is that what he's trying to say?
I mean, if he would have... A lot more people could have been badly hurt and killed. So I have to take my hat off to him, because that's also a surreal. He's been with them for 23 years, and he's never had anything like this. And all of a sudden he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the gun, saw the...
Stevens, good evening.
The gun, very far away. Obviously has very good eyes.
You're not the first person to say that in the chat.
Having that particular work, but he took aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds. From long.
I hear it now. You guys are right.
That didn't happen because the shooter had a lot of bullets. A lot of cartridges up there with him. So
well,
could have been brave.
I mean that's clearly he was very competent in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination. But
It's late in the day. Your adhesive wears out, right?
pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people people are wondering how on earth could such a thing happen.
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people, because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him. And there was one woman with a red shirt and Trump all over it. And she's screaming, and that guy's got a gun. You saw it probably. There's a guy up there with a gun.
You all saw him. He had a gun.
I mean, for my part, and I think probably many members of the public are wondering how the heck are, basically people wandering by pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun.
Yeah.
And they're seeing it, but somehow it's not being addressed. That does seem crazy.
Well, they're going to learn from this. The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea, and then ultimately a man lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because he was pulling himself up.
The derp state.
And he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot, but he was like pulling himself up, and because of that, he couldn't get to his gun, and he fell down. Actually, very badly hurt his leg, his ankle. I hear very badly, but he fell down, and he did. From what I understand, he did say, "There's a guy up there with a gun." The shooting started very quickly after that. I think it forced the shooter to go maybe quicker. He was supposed to be a very good shot.
Yeah.
The way you said that was funny.
John and Eric, they can't believe what happened, but they said from 130.
There's a guy out there with a gun.
Shot would hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf, sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah, it's not a tough shot.
It's not a long shot. The Secret Service person had the long shot. He had a triple the distance actually. So it was a terrible thing. It's hard. I have to say this about the Secret.
I mean, that one bullet came close, but all those other shots were nowhere near Trump.
I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many.
And we don't know.
We
don't know that he actually got hit by a bullet in the ear.
People showed us this.
But there is a picture of a bullet whizzing by his head, so.
Or some kind of a match. Everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him into some sort of gun club.
Killed with those stampedes. We had more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and nobody left. You had a small group behind us in the grandstand, and that was full. And you look at it.
Is he talking about golf?
Normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood.
Oh, we're still talking about the rally.
They saw that I went down, and it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Butler. As far as the eye could see, and a lot of press too. There was many cameras on watching this. It's what makes it so different, because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras.
Oh, God, this is so boring.
So, sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things was that you didn't have anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like, I'll tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people because it's so different from what you heard. But so I was down. But the Secret Service guys. There were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear them go whizzing, and these guys came jumping on top of me, and a young lady, Kate, would jump. They moved so fast, and let me tell you, that took tremendous courage. Now there was a lot.
I think he's fizzling out.
There was, obviously everybody understands that somebody that building should have been covered. And
I mean,
that was the big thing.
For the love of God, he doesn't win this election.
That building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like the
surely
you would pick like what is the favorite place? What if you So if the goal is to assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building. The
You're
roof
right.
of that building would be number one.
That would have been the spot.
It's like you can ask for a better
No.
location. It's like,
I think like Bernie even said it, like the Trump fever is broken.
Local policeman,
and
who, by the way,
maybe
he really he did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer, and then when he got his head just peeking above, this guy's.
But it's not just Trump we have to worry about. It's the Christo-fascists that have been animated by Trump.
His ankle very badly, but he was making the calls. But what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what they think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun. He ran to the site and he started shooting fast, and maybe that's why he sort of missed. I mean, he got me, but it could have been could have been a much bigger problem.
But he totally would have hit if you hadn't turned your head. So, there was it was a very near thing.
It was a miracle. If I hadn't turned my head,
it's like he's interviewing Papaw before he gets in bed.
I would not.
Yeah,
I would not be talking.
Maybe talking to me from another realm, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be talking from.
He's got like the long pajamas on with the hat with the little poof on it.
Very terrible experience. The Butler Hospital, they did such a great job. The doctors were so good. Everybody was so good. There was a mistake.
Yes, we're listening to two bumbling idiots.
People were hearing that, there was just a bad feeling that somebody was around. You know that story now. It's been And if somebody could have said, because they've all.
Am I the only one left in here?
A lightning storm or something, because I've done, I think, over 300. I think I did a lot more than that, but we did a lot. And oftentimes they'll say, sir, could you wait 10 minutes, please? Sir, could you wait 20 minutes? There's a storm overhead or lightning or something, right? And that happens often.
Okay, more people popped up again.
Perfect time for that to have happened, but it didn't get coordinated. That was the problem.
Listening to these two great minds.
I think your actions in the heat of fire in
Libertad's like, fuck it, go to the car chase.
There was that you can't fake bravery under such circumstances. The courage is instinctual or it is not. It's not a rehearsed action. And so I just want to say that I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there. And so
thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up.
He's not even entertaining anymore.
I want to let people know, I felt I was good when they were on top of me.
In 2016, he was entertaining.
And very bravely. But I wanted to get up. I said, I want to get up. And they wanted, they have everything there. They wanted stretcher. I didn't like the stretcher.
Suck him.
But I knew I wasn't hit anywhere else. They felt I was hit someplace else because it was such a lot of blood. And they were sure that I was hit someplace else. And they were saying, sir, you were hitting more than the ear. I said, nope. I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up. And so I got up, and the crowd didn't know what to think. I mean, this was so many people, and you could see they were confused. They didn't know what to think. And I wanted to.
He does sound medicated.
It was very important for me to let them know that. And they went wild. You've seen the after. They didn't go wild when I got up because they didn't know, was I alive? You really couldn't tell. When I stood up, before the the fist in the air, they didn't know if I was alive. Nobody did. And when I put the fist up, they were just relieved, and
they didn't know if he was alive.
The place went crazy. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was a terrible thing, but it was
incredibly moving. Yeah. Well, and I mean, speaking of the sort of slide that got you to turn that saved your life, really.
Why people keep picking on Police Academy?
Maybe this is worth talking about.
I haven't watched it in 25 years.
You're right. No, the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right, but it had to be at
any of them.
I mean, that's a great one. saved by illegal immigration.
The incredible thing, though, when you talk about the odds, you had to be exactly at that angle. But the incredible thing is that the chart, I used it less than 20% of the time. It was just a moment.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm proud of some of the soups I make.
Right, and it's always at the end of the speech. So
I never have any leftover to freeze.
Not the left.
But he could be making big batches.
At the end. And even the people that put it up, they were unprepared, and they did a great job. They got it up immediately for.
You guys want to talk about soup?
But I looked to the right, and the bullet came whizzing by, hitting my ear. So it was amazing. But when you think of the odds of that,
what's everyone's favorite soups?
That normally you wouldn't use it. Normally I wouldn't have the thing, and then
I couldn't pick a favorite.
It's very much, I say, an act of God. It's a miracle that.
I've never had like a good gazpacho.
I'm honored by it.
Well,
I like tomato soup though.
What were you about to say about
Lipton chicken noodle? Interesting.
Well, I was going to say how good the numbers were.
I've never had the Lipton.
Butler, and we're gonna go
on the rare occasion that I get because I'll usually have like a couple of cans of soup just in case I don't feel like it.
Great, these are incredible people.
I usually get chunky
like
soup.
The three that, in the case of Corey killed, and the other two, the families are. I got to know them a little bit, and a family.
Oh, I like a broccoli cheese. That's probably the one I make the most.
I think I'll probably start by.
I like a good tortilla soup with like some black beans and shit, fried corn and shit like that.
Interrupted, but.
Yeah, so rudely interrupted by.
Sounds horrible, Ducky, because I hate pickles.
No, but the chart.
Lobster bisque might be my favorite, or tomato bisque, one or the other. Like
my last
tomato bisque is sweeter. Lobster bisque tends to be a little.
Numbers meaning stopping.
You think the lobster bisque would be sweeter?
You've seen the chart. It's become quite a famous
Yeah,
chart,
yeah.
but that was the lowest point ever recorded. It was.
Ooh, I've never had a butternut squash. I totally would eat a butternut squash soup.
People. Kamala and Joe, you see what happened. They just let it go. I had remain in Mexico policies. I had all these different policies that was so good. Guys like Tom Holman and Brandon Judd from Border Patrol. These are all people that they've been on television. They says the best numbers we've ever had. We had so many.
Pretty much, Mox.
Catch and release in Mexico, not the United. We had.
I think the main plank of Trump is
things we had
immigrant invasion.
If many people come in there. They have contagious.
Oh my God, Ponder Monkey.
We had everything passed. If you have a contagious disease, I'm sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country. So we were setting literally records, and
because they released their
showing that, and I use it sometimes.
Sure.
And
they released their platform.
I can tell you that, but they were.
Number one, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Number two, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. This even looks like a fucking Nazi website.
I mean, would it be accurate? Look
at this shit.
Supportive of legal immigration, but we also
look at it.
Illegal immigration.
Fear not.
Especially
I am Donald J. Trump. Fear not.
And this.
I will always love you for supporting me.
Immigrant is bad.
Holy shit.
I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately represent your position?
I say it very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
Because look.
Totally not a cult.
The borders are. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite. They had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents. And many of them were assigned to go get waste.
I mean, they're literally saying they're going to round people up.
They have a policy. They had a policy that
it's fucking insane.
We're really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you hear 12 million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many coming from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, or a bigger version of that is insane asylums, and many are terrorists. And I'll tell you what, they're coming not just from South America, they're coming from Africa, they're coming from all over the world, they're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from countries that are stupidly and horribly bombing Israel October 7th. They're coming from all over the world. And you know, you look at, it's so sad, October 7th, because it should have never happened.
Yeah.
It's so sad when you look at Ukraine. It should have never happened. We have a defective government. These are defective people, and they're not people that should be running it. But where you see it the best is the border, because you have millions of people coming in a month.
Come on,
and
man.
Then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they have another 5 months. They
have another 5 months.
They won't do anything. It's all talk. She's incompetent and he's incompetent. And frankly, I think that she's more incompetent than he is. And that's saying something, because he's not too good.
Yeah. No, I think it is essential to have a secure border. I mean, you're really not a country unless you have a secure border, and
secure elections too.
You know, yeah, absolutely secure elections, and so it's just essential to have a real border, or we can't function as a country, and our services, you know, our essential services are being overwhelmed.
Well, it's working.
But
it is, if it was a trick to make us all dumber, it is working.
A legal immigration process that is smooth and efficient and done well. And I, you know, speaking as someone who is a legal immigrant, I think that I mean, like one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? You know, who do you want?
Oregon Gal, absolutely. It sounds like his speech is garbled.
We want to
gargled.
Let in people who are gonna, you know.
Several people in the chat have speculated that his dentures are loose. He sounds like he might be medicated.
And you know, and who do you want on the team?
I kind of talk like that when I'd had some pain medication.
Like in my opinion, actually, I'd say like probably most of the illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking people. That's my opinion. But some are not. And
also, Oregon Gal, did I tell you good evening?
Adverse selection process.
Because if I didn't, good evening.
You know, if
Light one up, tip one back.
You know, if somebody's like has a career in theft or robbery, I don't understand what's taken them so long to get here, because we're such a target-rich environment. I mean, you know, why aren't more people who have a career in, you know, bad things here sooner? Because it's a piece of cake to go rob, you know, houses in LA or New York, compared to other parts of the world.
What?
And in a lot of places in America, if you try to stop the person who's robbing you, you'll be arrested.
Yeah.
So
it's right. I mean, what's happening with crime, and our police are so good, but they're not allowed to do their job. But I have to tell you, Elon, I hate to say it because it's such a downer to say it. I hate to say
I think he just said he's surprised more people don't come here and rob us.
You have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think. They're allowing, again, they're allowing people from their job.
I think.
And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an example, Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're taking, frankly, their prisoners. They're emptying out their prisons. They're taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and they're delivering them into.
But that's what Castro did.
Yeah, well, he did on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
You know, it was a much smaller scale. But this is a massive scale because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening: crime all over the world is down, and wait till you see the numbers that we have. You know, this is migrant crime. This is crime that's
crime is down in the U.S.
today in New York, where somebody was knifed with raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters, and started pulling out the knives, and bad things happened.
What?
But this is happening every day.
Was Taylor Swift involved?
People that are in jail for murder and all sorts of things. And they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you. So they don't want to come back. But these are rough people.
Yeah.
These are criminals that.
Yeah, this motherfucker is a criminal.
And it's horrible.
A convicted felon.
In charge of it, because, you know, now she's trying to say she had nothing to do with it. And she's such a liar, because She was called the border czar the first day, and it was
Was the boyfriend into it? Did he have some kind of a cuck
She
kink?
never even went there. She went to one location which had nothing to do with where the problem is. You know, she went in and out, I
Right.
guess, because she was getting a lot of pressure, but
Yeah.
had nothing to do with the problem
Yeah.
is.
Gave her the old in and out.
And people can't
It
allow
takes one to know
get
one.
away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She
Probably like thousands, Ponder Monkey.
shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known what happened.
There's a lot of murder going on in this country.
The difference, but the fact is that she was border czar. But if you don't have to call her that, the fact is you could just call her. She was in charge of the border, and the border.
Somebody look up what the average number of murders in the country is for a given year.
Whether it's a question of intention or competence, either way, we don't have a secure border, and we have people streaming over like it looks like.
I want to say it was like 4,000
at times, and sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So because you see things.
It could be off. It's gonna be like 50,000.
Border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas, and I was like, okay, it's real.
45 a day. How many is that total?
Live. I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this made up or real? And I'm just seeing people stream across the border.
2020 is an odd year too.
Hey, at least the people that I saw did not look friendly.
These are
people can look at my video and say,
Yeah.
hey, these people look friendly. I don't look super friendly. So
These are people that
16,000.
the same man, if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across, and I know rough people, and these are people that we don't want in our country. And
Cosmic Fox, good evening.
And they're putting, and who's doing this are the heads of the countries, and you would be doing it, and so would I, and everyone would say, oh, what a terrible thing to say. The fact is, it's brilliant for them because they're taking all of their bad people, really bad people, and I hate to say that.
Did we have 29 days in February?
Much bigger.
I guess 4 years later it would be, yeah.
They're non-productive people. Now, these aren't people that will kill you. We have enough of them, but the people that are non-productive, they are just not productive. I mean, for whatever reason, they're not workers, or they don't want to work, or.
I'm pretty lazy.
And these countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases, and they're also getting rid of their murderers and their drug dealers and the people that are really brutal people. And they're coming into our country at levels that.
So bored.
And I saw an ad just before I got on the air. I'm walking over here, and I saw an ad by Kamala saying how she is going to provide border security.
Yeah, you're one of those unproductive people, Dougie.
Yeah, no.
Exactly what he's talking about.
It's a terrible.
Yeah, I think this, frankly, I think this is a fun
First they came for Ducky, and I said nothing.
issue for the United States.
Because I'm not a waterfowl.
Another 4 more years of
that's bullshit, Dougie. I'd totally stick up for you. I would hide you in my attic.
For the past, 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country.
You don't have a country left.
Working gal, I'll hide you in my attic as well.
You will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world.
Don't have an attic, I'm sorry.
Only. We think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala. And
I'm volunteering the Indian lady that lives upstairs
everywhere. They're coming in from
to hide you guys.
And I had to stay in Mexico.
Yeah, I think this is a super important point. Like people, it's like basically when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico.
No, Mexico less.
It's just the border. It's just the border with Mexico.
Well, Cosmic Fox, we've had this discussion.
Earth, the rest of Earth, and America is only. About 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few percent of the rest of Earth to overwhelm everything in the US.
We're already overwhelmed, Elon. We're overwhelmed. You had to see the news tonight about New York, and I love that place. And what they're doing to it is horrible. What they're doing to it.
What are they doing in New York?
They try and focus on Trump. Okay, let's focus on Trump, who did nothing wrong.
Yeah, you're like the source of most of the crime in New York, aren't you?
What happened is unbelievable. You have. From Africa, from the Congo, they're coming, from the Congo. And 22 people came in from the Congo recently, and They're murderers, and they're dropped. They drop them. They take them out of jail.
I listened to the first song on the Charlie XCX album.
They don't do.
I don't know why I didn't listen to more of it.
But they take them out of jails, prisons. They take them out and they bring them to the United States. They deposit them in the United States and say, "Don't ever come back, or you're going to be executed."
Is it AU?
Back. But they won't come back.
Welcome in, AU.
They're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming.
You want to give me a phonetical pronunciation?
And there are a lot of
Yeah,
really
everyone
bad
knows.
ones.
It's
You're a conservative?
Thing, and it's just not possible for the United States to absorb, everyone from.
I mean, everyone's welcome
a
here.
few percent of the rest of Earth. It's just not possible. So,
Well, Elon, we're going to have to finish this up. We're going to have the largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice. Otherwise, we're going to have a country. What they've done to our country. Think of it.
What have they done?
Venezuela and in some of these other countries, crime is down 50, 60, 70, 80%. And you would be the same. You would have.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Venezuela has not gotten rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of about 70.
Deport Elon.
People. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. Same with other countries.
Sure.
Some are 30%. Some are at 50%. They're all different. But the
Deport Melania.
at 100%. Why wouldn't you put 100%?
Yes.
Yeah.
Snicks. Check this out.
While this third-rate phony candidate, don't forget, I beat Biden. He failed in the debate.
This website is so Nazi looking.
It's too bad he did so badly, or I did well in the debate.
Seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Carry out the largest deportation operation in American history.
I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later.
See, you ain't a mod anymore, DJ Dub.
That's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different.
Yeah.
Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't want.
DJ Dub should be a moderator. I agree.
Yeah, they just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
What they?
That's your name from now on. You know that, right?
The worst president in history. And one of the reasons he was so bad. First of all, the Israeli would have never happened. Russia would never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan mess, if you think of it.
Well,
and we wouldn't have had.
We like having you around here, DJ Dub.
You take a few of those events away, and we have a different world. We would also have inflation was caused by oil.
Yeah. No.
What?
I think you're making an excellent point here, which is that when other countries can, that
inflation was caused by oil,
invading or doing bad things. When they're thinking about that, they're thinking about.
This is what everyone said.
And do they fear the American president, or is there someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they would rightfully be. I mean, look at the footage of the assassination.
The fuck is he trying to say?
President Trump is like, don't mess with me. I mean, that's. Like, whereas I think people are not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think of that in the context.
Oh, now come on.
Global security.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
That if the American president is someone that, like, evil dictators are scared of, that makes a huge difference to the security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia
Putin
that lasted for over 2 years.
Princess Kimberly, good evening.
Created by Hillary Clinton and Adam Schiff, some just bad people, just sick people, frankly. I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably being a senator. It's hard to believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But, they put our country in danger with that stuff, too. They actually, when they make up stories, and you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And
nobody respects you,
we
dude.
We talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream 2.
But he's going to be a senator? That is correct, Mark.
In the world going all over.
I'll take Schiff over Feinstein.
And then they say,
I think that's an improvement, but that's a low bar.
And I loved Russia. No, He actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that to fund. And this
look at me, looking on the bright side. He's better than Feinstein.
What he did is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers. Shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama.
Fair enough, Ponder Monkey. She might kick out at the last minute.
Week. Because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches
back from the dead to reclaim her seat.
On fire. But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly, but I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing, to listeners the immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters.
Stick around after this. We're gonna have a police chase.
There's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to do.
I know every one of them.
And that puts
it's all messaging. It's because all these motherfuckers have had Keystone Pipeline drilled into their heads by Fox News.
I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious. And they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror that you look at Israel, they're all waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. When I was there, and
Iran almost attacked multiple times when you were president.
Good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around.
You killed one of their generals.
Because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil.
They're apparently out to assassinate you, though it had nothing to do with the assassination attempt a couple weeks ago.
And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass. Yeah. They didn't buy oil. Other countries, likewise. Sure. You want to buy, you're not doing business with the United States. And they were at a point where they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these instruments of terror. And it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is...
It's hard to believe you were president, you piece of shit.
We were respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where when I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil. But they had no money, and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way.
Yeah, I'm not buying the hack either, Mox.
And it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him. I hope to get along well with him again. Getting along well with them is a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Kim Jong-un. When I met with President Obama just before entering, it's a sort of a ritual. And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, all the different things. Yeah. But all of a sudden I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they were epic everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger and my red button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man, Little Rocket Man. Anyway, here's the bottom line. All of a sudden,
I still can't believe that trip happened.
They said they want to meet. They want to meet me, and we met. Yeah. As you remember, we met in Singapore. We met also in Vietnam, and I got along with them great. We were in no danger. But President Obama thought we were going to end up in a war, a nuclear war with him. And let me tell you, he's got a lot of nuclear stuff too. Exactly. He's got plenty of nuclear. He can do plenty of damage.
So yes, I mean it's because. People like Kim Jong Un, they respond to strength, not weakness.
Well,
And
he and I had a good relationship. Remember I met him and we walked onto his land. Nobody ever walked onto his land before. I walked onto. I wouldn't say. Let's bring up.
What?
I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his land, and it was an amazing period. But we were not in danger with him because of me. I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some
walked
really
onto his land
in our government and people that are controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat.
Yeah.
The biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not
oceanfront property,
nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to.
Yeah, he has only mentioned
we go right up front and say that
woman he is running against once, and he mispronounced her name.
Very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said,
"What's your options, Nick?"
That were so stupid that war would have been. That war had zero chance of happening if I were there.
He does got to sound like Daffy Duck.
Everything the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people.
Oh, God, if I was to speed him up a little bit, he'd sound just like Daffy Duck.
Sure. Hey, look, just in the 2 armies, you lost 500,000 people. And, Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story. But if you think about it,
oh, God.
Russia's gone, Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. They've been around a long time. They're a big fighting force, and it's very unfair. And Ukraine now doesn't have enough men. They're now using young men and very old men to fight. And we're in a very bad position, and I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it.
Do I have a pitch shifter?
So bad. The words that he was using, the stupid threats coming from a stupid face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war. He's going to cause us. And let me tell you, it can lead to World War III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle East.
I don't think I do.
Numerous places that could end up in a World War III right now for no reason whatsoever.
I think you're right. I think people underrate the risk of World War III, and it's just when you're looking at the risk of nuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity, and that's.
I could probably get a plug-in for it though.
The end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they actually have forgotten that there are currently a lot of nuclear missiles that
Oh, this has been boring as fuck.
United States from other countries.
And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to build an Iron Dome over us. Israel has it.
An Iron Dome over the U.S.
We need it, and we're going to make it all in the United States. But we're going to have protection, because it just takes one maniac to start something. We're going to have protection, and we're going to have. Why shouldn't we have an Iron Dome? Israel has one.
I had a thing for VST plugins, but I didn't have anything it was empty.
Israel has it. We're going to have an Iron Dome. But with all of that being said,
I don't know. I've downloaded all kinds of shit, plugins for OBS.
The election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy.
Because in order to do this 3D space thing, I had to download a plugin.
The inflation has killed them. Food prices are up 50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And
the Simpsons movie is good, but it falls apart in the third act. I don't know why it gets boring.
That's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the border a lot. And we discussed the border at great length. It's nice to have a forum like this where I can discuss something.
Oh, they had a dome. That's what you're talking about. It.
Interview. Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass on you.
No, they could not.
So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad when you think that somebody that does this for a living can't answer a question or is afraid to do an interview. And in her case,
fair enough, Cosmic Fox.
She's got all friendly interviewers.
I love your attention to detail.
The thing now is the economy, Elon. And as much as I mean, I view nuclear as the single most important thing, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand that. But it doesn't have to. If I understand it, that's all you need. Because if
you guys might have got an ad over on Twitch. I'm sorry.
But
I guess you can't hear me.
Really,
if you got an ad,
making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation, it doesn't matter what you make. The inflation is
the inflation station.
Or if you're just a middle income person, you can't afford,
Sub plus turbo.
People were saving a lot of money.
Damn, DJ Dub.
Using all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing that's happening. And we'll end that.
He's trying to keep his dentures in.
A lot of people don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that
fair enough, DJ Dub.
And if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services, that's inflation. So really, we need.
I usually don't even have to
We need to
sub to anybody. I'll just go into channels. Usually when I raid in, people will fucking give me a gift sub to whatever channel it is. Which is fucking awesome.
We're currently adding, I think
that is a very common thing.
Roughly every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceeded the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion.
Oh, I hate ads.
And it keeps growing.
I rebuilt our military, largely rebuilt our military, did a great job on it, which was so important. We had jets, we had fighters that were, and bombers that were 70 years old. And we did a great job in that. Then
it keeps me in subs to a lot of channels.
And if you can believe it, we gave them $85 billion.
Stupid and boring, but stick with us. We have a police chase.
Into the world. They're selling what we gave them. That was one of the most embarrassing days.
Don't get too bored on me, guys.
If you think about, let's go back to the economy. We have to bring energy prices down. Energy started it. The price of gasoline. Now your cars don't.
I don't know. I'm a glutton for punishment. I probably could have done it without you guys.
I have to be honest with you. That doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible. But the gasoline, Elon, is the cost of energy. Not only gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling.
I don't have a Dan Crenshaw eye pussy to piss in, so I'm going to go to the bathroom real fast.
150.
If you guys want me to just go ahead and cut these motherfuckers off and go to the chase, we've also got news after that. We can totally do that. That's up to you guys. You just let me know when I get back.
To the Trump policy. But if they won, the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy that's not sustainable. Wind and different things. You're not going to have anything.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big fan of the AI. And I have to say that AI, and this is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So you're going to have to build. We're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary competitor for this on the AI. You're going to need a lot of electricity. You're going to need tremendous electricity, like almost double what we produce now for the whole country, if you can believe it.
Sure. Well, just going, back to this, like this basic thing, which that people try to make it sound complicated, but it's not. But inflation is caused by government overspending. Right. Would you agree that we need to take a look at government spending and have perhaps a government efficiency commission that just tries to make the spending sensible and so the country lives within its means, just like a person does?
The waste is incredible, and nobody negotiates prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I mean, I went through it, like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign, a general said, "Sir, would you please sign this document?" And what is it? Air Force One. That's with Boeing, which is basically two planes, two 747s. And the price was $5.7 billion for two planes. Now, now they're highly sophisticated.
That's insane.
They're even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated. They're very, I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff on it. Anyway, but it's 5.7.
That's a crazy
it's
number.
a crazy number, but I said, I'm not going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it.
Did you talk about Obama?
Of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. But for
funding
the
to
exact
SpaceX,
plane,
NASA can do it better.
and I said to
all you gotta do is fund them.
you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that.
Did Chase win out? Everybody says Chase.
Going back to the Biden administration.
I'm into it. We went like an hour on that shit, so that's good enough for me. Yeah, fuck all this other shit. We'll do police chase, and we got some other news we can do for a little bit. Fun times. Oh, fuck.
Geo is he pulls up to what looks like a business parking lot there. A woman gets out of the passenger side. He reaches for the back seat. Looks like he pulls on the handle there.
Yep, didn't open.
Then gets back in.
I believe this is L.A.
I don't know if that woman was going to get back in the car. You see her kind of go towards the door.
And this is the part where he opens the door, the driver's side door again, slows down, closes it back up, and then takes off again. So this is where most of our questions lie, as to what exactly happened there, as you're taking a look live from Sky Cow right now at this ongoing pursuit, and especially with regards to how that ties back into
get more high.
The original inception of this pursuit, Dave, with regards to it being a stolen vehicle. So was it stolen perhaps from that woman or from someone else, and then something happened? I mean, this is just sort of the chaos of the situation right now as we...
Here is her. Good evening.
Driving on the wrong side of the road there.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have told you that I could have made it to the end of the week. I'm going to sit here and take bong rips the entire show.
We've all seen it when it's a carjacking suspect. They get out.
But wasn't taking bong rips the entire show.
They don't come back. Now, unless there's a child in the back seat. There's so many possibilities here that we have to consider. So this will be one that, they'll stay on them. They'll monitor every 24, I believe it is. So they'll... keep broadcasting the direction, location, anything that they see, anything that's thrown out of the vehicle, possibly. But anything like that. So, but I think they're going to go ahead and stay with this. I don't know if they'll go into surveillance or not, but we'll see.
Yeah, and
this happened.
If they're able to speak to that woman
yesterday evening.
Young, just from
this happened yesterday evening in L.A.
Was carrying a backpack, and you're right, Dave. Many times,
can't believe there was a chase
relationship with
going on while we were on stream.
Actually, we've seen
I wasn't covering
in
it.
many cases that passenger does not want to be in the vehicle. they're not really in cahoots with this driver continuing the pursuit. And we've seen that in several cases. In fact, a chase a couple weeks ago where everything was being live streamed from inside. You could hear the passenger ordering the driver to pull over.
We covered that one.
That was the case here. We just simply know that a woman got out of that passenger side and she didn't get back in.
And right now, this pursuit's still ongoing on these streets, going right alongside the train there. One thing of note, Dave, that we were pointing out just before you jumped on with us was how this is in similar area, the Southgate area, bordering right there with Huntington Park. From the last pursuit when we checked in with you, it's
being a little reckless,
being on these surface streets.
Looks like a good driver.
Left and right, blowing through intersections, stop signs. But the big difference here being, aside from the fact that it's a stolen vehicle, and we saw that interaction with the woman who was in the car as well.
Got speeds up
here are just radically different in the sense of it's
60 miles an hour, slowing down, make a turn now.
Slowing down 25 to.
I just said that.
Miles an hour. It looks like this man is just zooming through, and that's where the danger really gets heightened, does it not?
Love it. Back up to around 60.
Their kids are out playing. Some kids aren't even in school yet, so they'll be out and about. Luckily, we haven't seen any pedestrians out there, so that's a big plus for us. But as far as the desperation
We're in school yet? Was this yesterday morning?
We don't know about this suspect either. You know, is it a first, second striker? Is he looking at going back?
There's no timestamp on it.
The joint, or
that it was posted 23 hours ago.
A little bit faster than normal. And when the cameraman went ahead and pulled back, I didn't see any black and white on him. You know, because
cool. It's like okay. It's all, like a lot of people come back to school. That's right.
But if they
all my friends on Facebook have been posting their back to school pictures.
They'll probably go ahead and re-engage the pursuit, but that would be up to the watch commander, the incident commander.
Yeah, that was going to say the incident commander is really the one that has their finger on the decisions of what will happen with these pursuits, and that's the person that's closely watching, right? If this is getting too dangerous for the public, if it's getting too dangerous for officers, and right now it looks like all cruisers have pulled off. So I'm wondering if producers or assignment
we're just following this motherfucker now
into tracking mode, or if this is still considered a pursuit here. But while they figure that out, Dave, we still have you here on the line, and that's the case, right? Many times the incident commander will try to back off so that this suspect is able to just you start to follow the rules of the road, at least.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point. And the sheriff's called it surveillance mode, and that's exactly what kind of looks like it's working. He actually slowed down some, so you know that's a big plus for the citizens. It's all about citizen safety, and he's still blowing lights. And
I mean, you gotta admit the LAPD does it right, at least now.
He slowed down, of course not, but eventually, you know, he is kind of maintaining a little bit more. I believe the adrenaline's calmed down a little bit in him.
Right. And the other thing to note here, to Dave, is that this is stretched now up to Boyle Heights. So we've made some distance here from when we first initially checked in with this pursuit. And you're right, it is
a cute emote.
The car is still speeding to the point that we have been noticing, but not to the degree at which we first chimed in. It's now, you know, we're going under an overpass, and you always have to wonder if this is a moment where things might stop. And okay, so the car's coming out the other end there, it seems like. As we try to maintain the eye. Yes, okay, so it is looking like it's right there. And
there you go. They tried to swerve. Well, they tried to swerve. It looked like they were going to make a right turn there, and instead they decided not to and continue on. But we're getting a better look when we zoom out there, that you can still see that LASD sheriff's bird, that helicopter overhead here. You saw that person, this driver here, make a U-turn and heading right back where they came from. It's giving me the
it has pants.
That
I thought it was in like a glass or something.
Area, since they're staying right in this Boyle Heights, East LA community.
Yeah, I agree with you, Leslie. And we've seen that before. You know, they like hanging around areas that they know. He was going to make that right turn back there and decided not to for some reason. So he must know the area.
Yeah, Dave, I don't want to cut you off here, but it looks like that driver went under this overpass here and is not making it on the other side, right?
No, I didn't see it either. And it looks like we're trying to keep it wide to see if we either see that driver perhaps bail out on foot or otherwise come out the other end. But yeah, no, we have not seen it as of yet right now.
But just because we don't see that vehicle, Dave, yeah, you know, they do have that LA Sheriff's helicopter in the sky. They're
the airship.
Good look, right? And see if that person starts to take off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we also got a good video for them on when he let off the young lady. So we got a great description on them.
Oh, there we go.
You know what, Dave? It looks like they did end up making it on the other side. If this is the vehicle, it looks like the gentleman, the driver, was wearing a white shirt.
Wearing a white shirt, yeah.
So it looks like this is the car, the stolen vehicle that police have been pursuing. The driver is going to continue on now, getting on the 101 north here from the 60. So now picking up on the freeway there. We know that this started with LA County sheriffs. They then told CHP to take over when the pursuit.
Aren't you adorable?
And now we're back.
Your gummy bear song.
We haven't seen any black and whites. The sheriff's department riding behind this car, but you know, you wonder if CHP is going to pick this up now.
Yeah, you know, we had a pursuit. We didn't quite make it to TV last night where LASO requested the CHP, and the CHP said unable at this time. So we'll see if they're going to request them. The other thing I'm thinking is that, you know, when he parked underneath that bridge, and maybe he did remove something out of the back, some type of evidence.
Oh, I gave everybody the option to cut it off. We did about an hour of it.
You know, maybe a weapon.
Everybody was bored with it.
But it's definitely.
Also, good evening, Cicero.
We'll just keep an eye on them. You know, meanwhile, we don't see the black and whites. They're in the vicinity. Air units putting out the location.
This is the aftercare.
Possible direction. So we'll see if LA City joins in.
Stolen car pursuit is the aftercare.
Here and coming into Central City East in the middle of the intersection, now making another U-turn.
Oh, we got a U-turn.
Back off. And obviously in that moment where this vehicle back in Boyle Heights making a right here, pardon me, but we obviously had that same question, or at least I did, Dave, of going under the overpass, and given our experience just from checking in with you a week ago was, okay, now all of a sudden the possibility of perhaps switching cars or getting other people involved, now that comes top of mind given that we saw it so recently.
I think Mitochondria told me about the glass of dentures.
You know, the whole intent of this suspect.
He did sound like his dentures were falling out or something.
To dump the vehicle and find.
He also could have been medicated.
Looks like he's just right now. He's not really sure where he's going, but you know, here we get on the freeway going back to an area I believe that he's probably familiar with.
Yeah, heading back on the 101 South, giving all indications now that this suspect is confused or really does not have a plan here or is trying to buy time. Right, Dave? We saw this last
It's late in the day. Papa needs to be tucked in.
Circles, pretty much, until they had what seemed
He's an old fucking man.
To another vehicle. These suspects sometimes, they're trying to buy time.
He has no business. He had no business being president the first time, and he certainly has no business being president this time.
Yes, everybody was.
For the love of God.
And I believe two in the other vehicle. We had two pursuits back to back on that.
And unfortunately, I feel like if he doesn't win this time,
into
he'll still be the Republican nominee for president in 2028 if he's still alive. Was this motherfucker going to try to get gas?
To see now underneath the roof of where all the pumps are, but there's the vehicle again. Okay, trying to see what
76 station.
It speaks to that confusion of just sort of going in circles back onto the street here.
You went back the way you were
pulling back.
Came in.
Here on surface streets. At the moment, when we get a chance,
that was useless.
In case anybody is joining us or checking in, pull up that video of what happened earlier, because that's been the big crux of this entire pursuit, Dave, which is this is earlier. When we first checked in, you see this vehicle pull into sort of a parking lot adjacent to other cars. You see a woman get out of the passenger side, go inside briefly. The man gets back into the driver's seat after pulling on that passenger door behind him, didn't open. She's sort of casual, not terribly seemingly concerned. Who's to say? That's obviously part of the questions that we're asking.
Gee, I'm going to stop you
Yeah,
here
go
because
ahead.
we're watching the vehicle. If we can take this full live. They're in a parking lot now. Looked like he was going to park. Now he's reversing here. And
holy shit!
We're going to watch the next move. He went into this shopping parking lot here and is just completely reversing to once again drive
within the same parking lot.
within the same parking lot. He's going to park here and get out of the vehicle here.
Oh.
Take a look. He's going to take it. Yep,
He's
running
just
for it
taking
now.
off on foot, trying to see what's in
It looks
his
like
hand.
maybe a cell phone, but I'm not really too sure. See, one hand he's holding up what looks like his pants. The other
Right.
hand possibly, it looks like
he's holding up his pants.
Similar thought, but
and he's putting it to his ear, so I'm going to assume maybe it's a cell phone there.
perhaps even calling for help. Maybe there's a friend out there. But Dave, this goes back to your point about, this is where the surveillance mode sort of kicks in, is that you back off and see until they stop. And now he's here on foot, and it, in a way, it makes the pursuit a little easier because now you're not worried about speeds. But we're going to keep an eye on this guy as he's just kind of
shortly after 6 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, making his way.
They said the kids aren't in school yet.
Like residential area, possibly apartments.
I was like, was this in the morning?
It does look like he's trying to speak to someone on the phone, and he very much knows he's being followed at this point because
he's holding his pants the whole time.
At this point,
That's fantastic.
does he have two things?
Yeah,
in
there's
his
something.
hand?
It almost looked like a
bag.
Is he gonna get dog on him?
I wasn't entirely sure, but yes, it did look like something else was in his hand besides that phone. But it just go ahead,
The
Dave.
one thing that has
Speaking of dog, if you stick around to the end of the stream, there is a little dog.
the one thing that kind of has me
We'll get the puppy bus. We got puppy bus tonight. He's taking his shirt off.
and then so I don't know if he had a weapon in his waistband that he didn't want to drop.
Yeah.
Always thinking the worst thing,
Oh, he's totally holding up his pants the whole
saying,
time.
"Here I come. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm going. Can you?"
I don't think he's wearing shoes that are
off his shirt.
Right, took off
conducive to running, and they also look like they're untied.
One, what looks to be his phone in his left hand.
Oh,
Hard to
There's a cop.
An LA sheriff's deputy. It
He's got a taser.
The taser telling him to get down here.
And it might have right underneath the tree. Yep, there you go.
The air unit was, like I said, the units are in the vicinity.
He's playing on his phone.
Given the direction and description of the suspect, and
Yeah.
he took off his white shirt.
Doesn't look like the
And,
suspect is
hey,
complying here, Dave. It does look like maybe that taser is in him there, getting in his stomach, putting his hands.
It was hard to tell if it was initially used, given
On the
that it was
back.
underneath a tree, but now it looks like they have him under control and being able to be put under arrest without much incident afterward. But at least to see there was that stress, to Dave's point, that was going there, because you see someone's dog chasing after the suspect.
Yeah,
the
you see
video
it,
on the
it's
right
going to
side.
happen right now. Someone's
But the
dog
puppy didn't get hurt.
up along that suspect as he's trying to get away there. He ran a pretty good distance, taking off his shirt, looking like he was talking to someone.
What's that gonna do?
There was an LA sheriff's deputy.
Now you're going to jail without your shirt.
And Dave, we're seeing one deputy.
It might be cold in there.
At least two. It just makes me think how dangerous of a situation for that deputy, but also how heroic for them to continue on and be able to get this suspect into custody.
Yeah, that might be a CHP officer there.
Oh, a
and you know how
CHP
they-
officer, yeah.
They run one-man car. I'm sorry, they run one officer.
Highway patrol.
We have female deputies out there working by themselves also. And
Why do you have to mention that?
So, luckily, this suspect complied. I think he was just too beat to put up a fight. But yeah, this worked out real good on our end.
Yeah, totally. And you're right on that. A correction, it was not sheriff's. It looks like that is a CHP badge there. on his arm. It looks like the
Looks like
suspect
something might have-
dropping something, still holding that phone. in
He's still holding his phone.
text. It looks like he's
yeah,
texting.
while handcuffed. Seems like, and there's they're right there getting taken away. There was a moment there where it looked like the suspect was talking.
Wow.
And there's another one there. So some backup has come in, 2, 3, and looks like we're finally going to get an end to this pursuit. A crazy pursuit that started after, still a lot of questions to be asked, given the fact that when we first broke in with you, and Dave, when we had you on the line, it started with, we knew this was a stolen vehicle, and then there was a woman who was dropped off somewhere. Still don't know the relationship between these two. Have no idea what happened there, especially given that there was sort of a back and forth between opening some car doors, pulling out, pulling back in, and then getting, taking off on this pursuit, and now ending after parking. And this is a part that also led to more questions, was leaving the vehicle in an empty parking space, right? Going into a parking lot, dropping it off, and then taking off, as opposed to, maybe just dropping it off on the side of the road. But
my thought, Dave, is that he probably wanted to remain incognito if he got in between as many cars as possible. Maybe no one would notice. But they oftentimes forget that there is always an eye in the sky. Dave, we are going to wrap up on this pursuit now that police do.
Is the Trump thing still going on? Is he still rambling? Good night, Sky Comet. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It does appear to still be going on.
I want to get too close to that, but I mean, I think we've got. I think we want to just move over and and if I don't know, 50 to 100.
I think he is desperate.
Yeah, we're I don't know.
In order for him to win,
that'll probably be okay. So it's not like
he has to pull another like once in a lifetime
to move towards
run the table. In a way that like is very unlikely.
They're faster than slower, but
and this time it doesn't look like the momentum is going to be in his favor. It was in his favor last time.
Hardship in the short term. I think this can be done without but people can still have a steak, and they can still drive gasoline cars. And
I love steak.
It's okay. It's like it's not. I don't think we should vilify people for it, but I think we should just generally lean in the direction of sustainability.
Is anybody vilifying people for having steak?
I think solar is going to be a majority of Earth's energy generation in the future, and it's certainly trending that way. And so you get the solar power, combine that with batteries, so because obviously the sun doesn't shine at night, and then you use that to charge the electric cars.
Oh God!
Long-term sustainable solution. And that's what Tesla's trying to move things towards, and I think we've made a lot of progress in that regard. But when you look at our cars, we don't believe that environmentalism, that caring about the environment should mean that you have to suffer. So we make sure that our cars are beautiful, that they drive well, that they're fast, they're sexy. I mean they're cool. In fact, literally, I mean this sexy joke, Model S, Model 3, Model X and Y spells out sexy. It's probably the most expensive joke.
What?
But I don't know, I like cheesy humor, so, but I'm a big fan of like, let's have an inspiring future, and let's work towards, a better future, and we can do so without demonizing people.
Right. I'm okay. It's very interesting.
Complete weirdo.
Warming, and today they use the word climate change because, you have some places that go up and so they were getting themselves in a little trouble with the word global warming.
The Cybertruck is so ugly.
Some places are going the opposite direction. But, I'm sort of waiting for you to come up with solar panels on the roofs of your cars and on the trunks of the cars. And
Teslas were good-looking cars.
At some point you will come up
before Elon took over.
But it would seem that a solar panel
we did a police chase, Nick.
On certain surfaces might be good.
Yeah.
At least in certain areas of the country.
And we just came back to Trump and Elon.
Where you have the sun, but I would think.
We're talking about Tesla.
No idea because that's not my world, but I would think that this would be something that would be interesting. But the one thing that I don't understand is that people talk about global warming or they talk about climate change, but they never talk about nuclear warming. And to me, that's an immediate problem.
He mentioned that earlier.
5 countries where you have major nuclear, and probably some others are getting there, and that's very dangerous. That's where you need a strong American president, because you don't want to have this proliferation. But you have 5 countries and getting more. China is much less than us right now, but they're going to catch us sooner than people think. They're way lower. Russia and us are number 1, and we're sort of tied. And China is far behind, but they're developing at a level that, you're not surprised to hear.
Israel?
They'll end
India?
up maybe even surpassing. But to me, the biggest problem is not climate change. It's not, and everything's, a problem, but it's degrees. To me, the big problem is the nuclear power. The power of nuclear is so great. And when I talk about I'll prevent World War III, I will. But
it's underrated. It's awesome.
You have to, because this is no longer army tanks going back and forth.
Donald's over here talking about warheads.
A level of destruction and power that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, and actually, there's the bad side of nuclear, which is a nuclear war, very bad side. But there's also, I think, nuclear electricity generation is underrated.
You're right.
And it's actually, people have this fear of nuclear electricity generation, but it's actually one of the safest forms of electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding. And if you look at the injuries and deaths, caused by, say, I'm not going to try and pick on coal mining, but just any kind of mining operation.
Right. This truly is 2 of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet.
Injuries and deaths per year. And you compare that to nuclear. Nuclear is actually way better. So it's underrated as an electricity source, and I think it's something that's worth reconsidering. But there's so much regulation that people can't get it done. So that
complete dipshit.
The name is it's a rough name. There are some areas like when you see what happened in
bad branding.
Right,
The
we'll have to
branding
rebrand it. We'll have to give it a good name. We'll name it after you or something. Hey, it has a branding problem. When you see what happened.
It does have a branding problem.
When you see what happened in Japan, where they say you won't be able to go on the land for about 3,000 years. Did you ever see that? And in Russia, where they had the problem, where they, there's a lot of bad things happened, and they have a problem. And they say that
Chernobyl?
In years, people will start to occupy the land again. You realize it's pretty bad.
No, that's not true.
But you're right about it. It's amazing.
It's actually not that bad. So like after Fukushima happened in Japan, people were asking me in California, are we worried about like a nuclear cloud coming from Japan? I'm like, no, that's crazy. It's not even dangerous in Fukushima. I actually flew there and ate grown vegetables on TV to prove it. And I donated a solar water treatment, a solar powered system for a water treatment plant. And
but you haven't been feeling so well lately, and I'm worried about it. I'm only kidding.
It's fine, It's like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So it's really not something that
That's right.
So it's not as scary as people think, basically. But let's see. Are there some other topics we should touch on? Like lawfare. I think we need to be concerned about
what they've done to this country.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, we just won the big case in Florida. This was a Biden administration did something that's never been
not win a case.
Country, and that's go after their political opponent, me, with this nonsense and just nonsense. And the big case in Florida we won, but they always pick a judge and a jury, and they use the local DAs, they use the local attorney generals, like Fani, Fani, spelled F-A-N-I, Fani, and it's all a big hoax, and it's all run from there, like in Manhattan. One of the top people from the Justice Department went in, ran Manhattan, ran the state. The Letitia James deal was run by a person from the Department of Justice, Biden. They've never done this before, and they set up a very bad precedent. It's called lawfare, warfare. It's a terrible thing, and never happened in our country. It does happen in banana republics and third world countries, but it's never happened. And the incredible thing is it actually drove my numbers up because people see, fortunately I have a platform like you, or, in all fairness, like a conversation like this, where I can talk about it and people understand. I mean, you fight for election integrity and you end up getting indicted because you're fighting for election integrity. And when the day comes that you can't fight for election integrity, you don't have a country anymore. So what happens is they went after their political opponent, me. Now Biden's, close to vegetable stage, in my opinion. Okay, I looked at him today on the beach, and I said, why would anybody allow him
on the beach?
Barely walk. Why would anybody allow him? Does he have a political advisor that thinks this looks good? He thinks this looks good because it looks so bad, and it's ridiculous. I mean, and he's been doing that for a long time. He can't lift the chair. The chair weighs about 3 ounces. It's meant for children and old people to lift. And he can't lift it.
I agree. Let's all not vote for Biden.
He's clearly like we just don't have a president right
You
now.
don't have a president. And she's going to be worse than him because she is a San Francisco liberal who destroyed San Francisco. And then as Attorney General, she destroyed California. You talk about...
He's getting animated.
Talking about the sun and
you
the water.
You think you just fell out of a coconut
There's
tree?
nothing better than California. She has destroyed that. She was the original DA. She was the original in San Francisco. She was the original Attorney General in California.
She's the OG.
What she has done to California...
I don't think she was the original Attorney General.
She just left California for a lot of those reasons. And what she's done with crime, with cashless bail, where you kill somebody. I mean, we have states there you kill somebody and they let you out right away. I mean, you don't have to even put up, and then they never find the people unless they kill again, and then they let them out again. Our country is becoming a very dangerous place.
San Francisco State, you
left San Francisco liberal, and now she's trying to protect. Now she's looking like she wants to be more Trump than Trump, if that's possible. I don't think it's possible, but she wants to be more Trump than Trump.
Yeah.
I want a wall.
I think that's.
She wants to release all the prisoners that are in detention, and some of these guys are really bad.
Right.
That just came out today. She doesn't want to build the wall, even though the walls work. Walls and wheels. In your business, everything you do is obsolete. Almost, well, not the tunnels, but everything is obsolete. Even your rocket ships, they're like a month later, they're obsolete. You find a better way to. The only thing that's not obsolete is a wall and a wheel. And the wall, I built hundreds of miles of wall, and that's why we had such good numbers. I was going to add 200 miles. We bought it. We could have flipped it up in 3 weeks, and they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. That meant, I said, wow, that means that they actually do want to have open borders. She wants to have open borders, and now she's going like she's tough on the border. It's such a lie.
Yeah, this is simply not true. This is simply not true.
And everybody knows it's not true. It's a disgrace that she can say it.
No, I mean, obviously, what's happening sort of overnight is they're rewriting history and making Kamala sound like a moderate.
I wish I liked coconut. It smells so good.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
She's more liberal by far than Bernie Sanders. She's a radical left lunatic.
No, that's something she says.
Very quickly.
That 2 years of her voting record during Trump was more liberal than Bernie Sanders.
The police. She believes in no fracking, zero. Now all of a sudden she's saying, no, I really want to see fracking.
Technically more liberal than Bernie Sanders, yes, and technically more liberal than Marx.
The lunatics that really believe in that, they won't vote for her. Like the Palestinians and Israel. She is so anti-Israel, and she's bad for both. Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him, both sides. That was a hard thing to do. Unification.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no.
I think a lot of motherfuckers hate you too,
Who came to give a talk to a joint Senate and House sitting, and I was there, and Kamala stood him up.
I don't know how much more I can take of this.
It's highly disrespectful. And I say, if you're a Jewish person or if you believe in Israel, if you're a person that, is a very pro-Israel, if you vote for her, it's worse than Biden. And Biden was bad. But if you vote for her, you ought to have your head examined.
I think it says they're calling on like 10 people.
I'm seeing reports coming that they expect an attack tonight.
Oh, calling on 10 million patriots to donate.
Thousands of rockets.
They were saying they were going to call on 10 people.
But their shield that they build, that can be
Let me speak.
swamped. We'll use the term that's
Yeah.
appropriate, swamped. But they
Yeah.
swamp it by shooting enough missiles. You know this better than anybody. By shooting enough missiles,
Sure.
they can't defend themselves. You know, they just obliterate the whole
Yeah.
place. And that's what some people think they're looking to do. And we have no leadership. There's no respect for the United States of America with these people. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
she'll be worse than him because she's a believer
Yeah, no,
in
I
being
think you're
radical
right.
left, and he wasn't.
I think you're right. I mean, you really, it's important for the public that may be listening to this to look at Kamala's track record, before the last month, and say, is that a track record you agree with? And I think if you're an independent moderate, you definitely would not agree with it, because it is her behavior has been far left, and we're seeing just an overnight propaganda attempt to rewrite history and make it sound like Kamala's moderate when she in fact is not moderate.
Well, her
I think
running mate approved, signed into legislation, tampons in boys' bathrooms. Now,
Yeah,
that's all
that's
I have
weird.
to hear. Tampons in
That's
boys'
weird.
bathrooms. And that means she believes
Yeah.
in that, too. I mean,
Yeah,
she
that's not
picked
okay.
this guy because he was the closest to her. A lot of people thought she'd pick sort of the opposite, but she picked an anti-Israel, radical left person. But she is far worse, they say, than Bernie Sanders. If we have her as a president, if we have a Democrat at this moment as the president, I don't think our country can survive.
I think it's a massive. I think we're in massive trouble, frankly, with the Kamala administration, and that's my honest opinion.
Honest opinion.
I think really it's essential that you win for the good of the country for this election, and I'm just stating my opinion. Now, you may have seen this, but I got a letter from the EU Commission, saying, to not have disinformation on during this discussion that we're having, there's a lot of attempts to do censorship and to force censorship even on Americans from other countries, and what do you think about that?
Well, I know the European Union very well. They take great advantage of the United States in trade, as you know. We, through a different forum, NATO, we protect them. And yet, if you build a car in the United States, you can't sell it in Europe. You just can't sell it. It's impossible. The same thing with our farmers. Our farmers find it very difficult to do business. We have a deficit with them of $250 billion, which people don't know. It sounds so nice, the European Union, but let me tell you, they're not as tough as China, but they're bad. And I let them know it. And that's probably why they notified you. No, they don't treat our country well. We defend them, with Ukraine. So we're in for 250 billion, and they're in for about 71 billion, and they have the same size. If you add up the European nations that, in terms of an economy, it's about the same size, wouldn't you say, as us? And they're in, and they're in much greater risk. They're right there. We have an ocean separating us from, in this case, the enemy would be Russia. It used to be for the Soviet Union, but let's assume they're close enough. And what happens is they're in for 70-something million. I think even less than that, billion, and we're in for about 250 billion, and it could be a lot higher than that. And I say, why aren't you going to equalize? Why aren't they paying what we're paying? And they're in much more, it's much more important for them because of the fact that, they're right near there. I mean, they're all sort of in that location. We're not. But they should, and I did it with NATO. There were only 7 countries that were paid up in NATO out of 28 at the time. And the United States was subsidized.
The chat has
NATO
postulated that he has his dentures
I
loose.
went in and I said, you got to pay up. If you
I think he might be medicated.
you any longer. I took a lot of heat, but you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in, and
I think a lot of the public.
I feel like that's the way I talked when I was on pain meds.
Proportionate share of the NATO expense.
He could just be old.
we get taken advantage of on trade. So Think about
Yeah,
it.
well, I mean, the point of NATO is defending Europe, and it's it's like then okay, well, why is the United States paying disproportionately more to defend Europe than Europe?
I'm so bored. I want to talk about the woman
that is an appropriate thing.
stole $1.5 million
cutting and savings
dollars worth of chicken wings.
Look, there's nobody that feels worse about the Ukraine situation than I do because I know it would have never happened. I know Zelensky. He was very honorable to me because when they went with the Russia hoax and they said I had a phone call with him, he said it was a perfect phone call. It was a great phone call. He could have grandstanded and, said, oh, he was very threatening. He said, no, it was a very nice phone call. I called him up to congratulate him on his win, and you end up getting impeached because these people are lunatics. I was talking about the difference from the people within and the enemies on the outside. In many cases, the people from within are more dangerous for our country than the Russias and the Chinas. If you have a smart president, you're not going to have a problem with them. You're going to do things.
Yeah.
Now, they've taken advantage of
absolutely.
us incredibly, but you're going to do things with the right person.
Yeah, well, I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly with false attacks, and you didn't try to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech, and I think that says a lot.
Well, the good thing is that you and I have, and some people, very few, we can get the word out. Although sometimes it's hard because they don't want to print it, like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't because she's not smart. She's not a smart person, by the way. She can't have this conversation. And Biden, we don't even have to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't have this conversation. He would have given up on the first half of a question. He would have walked out. He would have said,
"This is Elon Musk and Donald Trump."
But, no, he wouldn't have this.
That's true.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of territory. But the beauty is that you
nightmare fuel.
And I'm
able
to get it out because I get treated unfairly.
This is a really big point. You can actually have a conversation with you.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
And you can't have a conversation with Biden or Kamala. It's like it's not possible.
That's true.
So this is like talking to an NPC.
No.
So it's just impossible.
Well, but think of it. We need a man or person who's unbelievably sharp in order to stop all the nuclear danger and all the dangers that I'm talking about. And I got along with all these. I got along with Kim Jong-un. We had dinner. We had everything. And he really liked me, and I got along with him really well. By the way, he's the absolute boss over there. A lot of people.
Next, I got a story about a woman who stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
We had a good relationship, and he doesn't like Biden. He considers him a stupid man, he said. He's a stupid man. Well, at least he speaks his mind. But, in this country, you're not sort of allowed to say it, but I guess you are. You should be allowed to say it if it's true. But we need smart people, and we need people that have an ability to lead. And she doesn't have that ability. Can you imagine? Now, Chairman Xi very well. Can you imagine her and him negotiating or even standing together? It is, the whole concept is ridiculous. She is terrible. She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time Magazine today. She's
getting a free ride.
Never to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But
what?
She's a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that, right?
Camilla?
Yeah. Well, maybe I think part of what people in America want to feel excited and inspired about the future. They want to feel like the future is going to be better than the past.
Did he just say that he saw a picture of Harris and he thought she looked like Melania?
That make you proud to be an American.
And that she didn't look like Camilla.
And excited about the future.
Did I hear that correctly?
Dream back. They want the American dream back more important than anything else.
He, honest to God, thinks he's smarter than her.
We don't have that today because the people, they've been just sucked. They see incompetent people running our, the Biden thing is very interesting. People just found him to be incompetent. And when I debated him,
he said he saw a picture.
Is this for real? It was.
Yeah, it's just
of Kamala Harris.
Absurd. But I think there are some grand projects that
and that she didn't look like
like, we
Kamala Harris. She looked like Melania.
astronauts to Mars. We
Right.
could build high speed
And he called her
that are more
Camilla.
advanced than anything else in the world between our cities. So people have fast transport. It's possible to solve traffic with tunnels.
Right.
We've
Solve traffic with tunnels. That never happened.
and just do things that are exciting.
I'm pretty sure that Trump was mocking you for your tunnels.
Vegas, and I'll tell you, it was amazing. I got to see. I took a big glimpse at it, and it's incredible. It's incredible, and you could do that all over. You could do that.
The tunnel.
It's deep.
Yeah.
You don't even need much structure. assuming you're in the right area.
No, it's straightforward.
It's amazing.
I think we could do some things that like China's got incredible high-speed rail between its cities, but I think it's actually possible with tunnels if with deregulation, with an ability to actually, where it's like legal to actually do the tunnels. Then you could have high-speed tunnels that are actually better than anything else in the world.
You could have high-speed death tunnels,
and that would be
that are unregulated.
Americans can say, "Wow, okay, we've got something that's cooler than anyone else in the world." That's the kind of thing that makes you proud to be an American.
And much safer than surface trains, where there is a danger there. With crazy people.
Yeah.
It's much safer, much better. And it's sad.
Wow.
I've seen some of the greatest trains. I find it fascinating. And I've seen the systems and how they work, and the bullet trains, they call them, I guess. And they go unbelievably fast, unbelievably comfortable, with no problems. And we don't have anything like that in this country, not even close. And it doesn't make sense that we don't.
Voice chat.
Yeah, and I think also there's, I'm kind of hopping on the excess regulation, but I think something that I think people can generally understand is that what happens with laws and regulations is that there's more and more of them every year, and unless there's a process to clean them up, eventually everything becomes illegal, and that actually slows down the development of new technologies. I mean, if you take the sort of I think there's room for some reform at the FDA.
Once again, you are listening to two of the dumbest people on the planet.
Improve drugs.
Two of the dumbest people that think they're two of the smartest people on the planet.
And
I worked very hard on that. We got that down to the lowest number ever, and we got therapeutics approved in the FDA that people can't even believe the speed. But I took them on. I don't think they like me too much, but I got things approved in the FDA at numbers that they wouldn't believe. And it's a very bureaucratic group. Actually, it's a fine group of people in many cases. I got to know a lot of them, but I was pushing them really hard for Regeneron.
Dragging each other down.
That were really pretty amazing. But the FDA takes too long. It's 12 years to get a product approved. I got it down to 4, and I got some things done very quickly. But it's really something that is going to have to be worked on because it takes too long. Just takes too long.
Yeah, it just takes too long, and it's you end up in the same with the approval, but it just it takes years instead of something that I think could potentially take months.
No,
it improves people's lives. I think I just
you don't get to bring your untested products to market.
Active process for reducing rules and regulations, because otherwise they just keep building up every year, and you get hardening of the arteries, and eventually everything's illegal or takes forever, and then we just ossify as a society. We can't make any progress, and it's a really big deal.
Well, Elon, just getting back to the FDA for 1 second, I got something done called Right to Try. This is where you can go in and, if you're terminally ill, you can use a space-age, medicine or whatever it may be. We have the best doctors, the best labs in the world. We really do. But people would go to other countries because you couldn't.
These two motherfuckers should be under a bridge somewhere.
Because it's going through the FDA.
Talking their nonsense.
Yeah.
You basically.
Over a fire, pissed
the doctors
drunk.
didn't want it because of the liability. The country didn't want it. Our country, because they didn't want to get sued. These are people terminally ill. The insurance companies didn't want it, and the pharmaceutical companies. Nobody wanted it. I got everybody into a room. And we came up.
Imagine these are two bums under a bridge.
So they didn't want it on their record. If somebody
close your eyes, that's the conversation's happening.
They didn't want that on their record. So we set a separate list. If somebody was, so it wouldn't count as a negative.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you know, we got it done. We have saved.
Yeah, what the fuck does ossify mean?
Done for 58 years, and it sounds simple, but it wasn't because I mean,
bums haven't got fair enough.
We wanted it, but we got it done. Sure. Somebody signs. You sign a document that you're not going to sue the insurance companies, the country. You're not going to sue anybody.
It means to turn to bone.
Tens of thousands of lives, right to try. Hopefully, you never need it. But if
society turns to, how's that making sense?
People, if they had money, they go to Asia, they go to Europe. If they don't have money, they go home and die. That's what happened. They'd go home and die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and actually, to give Europe some proper,
they go home and die.
It's approved in Europe, which has a crazy amount of regulations. It should obviously be approved in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, they got more regulations than we do. So why would a drug be approved in Europe and not in the U.S.? That's crazy.
Well, we did it. We did something that really.
I guess we're talking about root words. You know, an osteopath is your bone doctor, so
something. But
guess that makes sense.
People go to Europe because a drug isn't approved here, but it's approved in Europe, and it's a drug that.
Justin. You know root words.
Crazy.
Absolutely,
you're right.
And I think so, as long as people are properly informed of the pros and cons, and like these are the risks, this is the risk, and like you make your own decision. Yeah. That makes sense.
Hardening of structures.
Just, you know, and sort of closing up. And by the way, I'm looking at the numbers. You got a lot of people listening. I hope you don't get nervous because you got.
Does that make sense in the way you said it? 60
million or something. What is that number? It's crazy. It's amazing how you can see that right away. How many? What is the number? Wow.
There's 36 million views, so I'll believe like 10 million views.
Well,
wow.
I think in terms of
legit.
That's bigger than you said. You said 25, and you're much more than double that number, 25 million. I think you're going to be 60 or 70, and I guess over a period of time. Hey, I congratulate you. Do I get paid for this or not?
Well,
give us some money, Elon.
There's a number of people that will hear this conversation over the next few days to weeks. It's going to be hundreds.
That's what they say. Yeah, that's good. Well, look, it's an honor. I just asked this: are you better off now or?
Are we wrapping up?
President, nobody's better off now. People, we put out polls on that, and nobody's better off now. Inflation has killed it. And, they also feel very unsafe. You look at what's going on with a lot of different things.
That's exactly what Elon said to him.
It's over. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You get paid in exposure.
The rights. They just feel unsafe. And now they really feel unsafe because you have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. Maybe I'll call it Kamala migrant crime. But
I mean, with all these things, I always try to get to the ground truth by just asking people. And my mom lives in New York, and I was like, Mom, have any of your friends, been attacked or assaulted? And she said, yeah, 3 of her friends in 3 separate incidents were assaulted just in recent months.
I don't believe it.
In New York, and I said, well, what happened to the people that assaulted them? Oh, nothing. They got away. They just know
they always get away.
Nothing's going. And they don't even bother reporting it because they know
they always get away.
People are not going to get prosecuted. They just let violent criminals out in New York.
The only one that gets prosecuted is Donald Trump. They don't get.
I didn't even think he talked to his mom. Oh wait a minute, he is a mama's boy. That's right.
Terrible.
If violent,
he was with him at the. It's his dad that he doesn't talk to.
And meanwhile, the New York spending massive resources prosecuting you, and it's like what's this? And I think the sort of sensible public looks at this and says, what the heck's going on here? This is obviously abuse of the legal system.
It's trans gangs.
The legal system is supposed to be protecting the public from violent criminals, and it should be obviously allowing the public to make their own decision about who should be president.
Taylor Swift terror attacks and transnational gangs.
Once they start this precedent, because this can go on with the next one. I mean, this is a very bad precedent what they're doing in terms of going after their political opponent.
I'm gonna fall asleep.
Going after their political opponent, and then you get a judge who's a strong Democrat.
Yeah, fuck people who have parents.
That in many cases crooked as hell. But you get a judge and you go into an area where a Republican gets 3.
I hate anyone who had parents.
And, you'll have a jury pool with people that hate Republicans or hate. It could also be the other way, though. Because it could start the other way in areas where they hate Democrats. And you get into a Pandora's box. It's a very
I'm just kidding. I love all your parents.
And a very dangerous thing even for the state. New York City is losing.
absolutely.
New York City and state.
Call your mom after the stream.
Over what they did to me, because these people say we don't want that to happen to us. That's no justice system. You have an unfair and it's costing New York State a tremendous amount of money.
On the fence about calling your mom?
And they won't come back. So, all of that stuff is important. But the economy now.
I'll call your mom, Sparkles. She'd probably like to hear from me.
And people are going to be back again. We're going to get rid of inflation.
I think there's a lot of opportunity.
Right.
Absolutely. So.
And I just want to congratulate you. You've done an amazing job. You have definitely got a
oh God
mind. We can talk. You and I can talk about rockets.
It's kind of you to say. Thank you.
Tunnels. We can talk about tunnels and rockets and
rockets,
electric cars, so many things. And now you're into the AI, and that's going to be another beauty, I'll say. So
I shouldn't tell people to call their mom if I'm not going to put my money where my mouth is and call my mom.
Amazing thing, and I congratulate you.
And I'm not going to call my mom.
Well, I mean, I just say here, here's to an exciting, inspiring future that people.
Oh, they are wrapping it up.
Optimistic and excited about what happens next, and that's the kind of future that I think you will bring as president, and that's why I endorse you.
Well, I appreciate that. That endorsement meant a lot to me. Not all endorsements mean that much, to be honest. Your endorsement meant a lot. A phrase, "Make America Great Again." It's pretty simple, but it really says that we want to make America great again, and we can do it. We can do it now, but if we were going to suffer another 4 years like we've suffered for the last 4 years,
suffer a succotash.
I'm not sure the country can ever come back. That's how bad it is. It's so bad. We have to do a lot of things.
I think that's a very real risk.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
It's a very real risk.
Yep.
And it's, I'd just like to note to people listening, like I've not been very political before, and if you look at my record, I've actually been, I'm not like, sometimes they try to paint me as like a far right guy, which is absurd because I'm like making electric vehicles and solar and batteries, helping with the environment, and I actually
you're a hardcore capitalist, you dipshit.
I supported Obama. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand when he was running for president, and. So it's not like I'm like some
image
the wall long term
that you painted.
I'm actually, I call myself
PR.
Historically a moderate Democrat, but now I feel like we're really at a critical juncture for the country, and I think a lot of people.
Trump and Elon Musk on Twitter Spaces. Welcome in, Media Winch. Good evening, Lady B.
And even further left. Administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion. I mean, her dad is literally. She was brought up as an actual.
I am sleepy.
Marxist economist. It's
been so boring.
We're not making this up. That's how she was brought up. So, and we want to have a future that is prosperous. And I think we're just at this critical.
Transphobic. They're both transphobic pricks.
And
I don't know. Donald Trump probably fuck some trans women.
America is going to at a fork in the road, and
true
doesn't mean he couldn't be transphobic.
It will take the path.
But I'd say he is probably more open-minded.
Then that's my.
Than Elon.
I'm gonna get attacked like crazy, and I've also experienced quite a bit of lawfare myself, but I'm just trying to tell people my honest opinion, and I haven't been really active in politics before.
Yeah, an idiot that doesn't realize he's being transphobic.
Record historically has been moderate, if not moderate, slightly left, and so this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say I think you should support Donald Trump for president, and I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
Well, I want to thank you, and
I think you deserve a titty slap.
Somewhat left, I must say that. It's even more of an honor to have your endorsement. I know how strong you feel about it, but when you think of her, San Francisco, 15 years ago, I had a great friend, Bob Tisch.
I can't do it anymore. I thought they were wrapping up. I can't. I don't even. All right, we're gonna do the hard news tomorrow night. I don't know. This is kind of hard news. A woman in Chicago has been arrested for apparently stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Worker will have to spend nearly a decade in prison for stealing chicken wings. This is 66-year-old Vera Liddell. She entered a guilty plea after stealing 11,000 cases worth of chicken wings, along with $1.5 million in taxpayer funds. She was the food service director for the Harvey School District 152. Liddell allegedly ordered the wings and then billed the district $1.5 million.
Oh, wait a minute. She might not have been scamming the wings. It might have been a scam to...
Breaking news. There were reports of a shooting at an adult club on the...
a shooting at an adult club, eh? Might have just been like an embezzling scam. I got wings the other day. They were awesome. Like, not fucking 4 days ago, I think I got some wings. So my favorite pizza place, they got amazing calzones, and they got really good wings. So, like, get a calzone and order wings. It's like fucking $18, something like that. They've usually got like a $4 off, $20 or more kind of thing. So I'll add on a couple of like pizza cups and blue cheese dressing. That brings me up to the $20. That's my usual order. I get the $4 off, and then I tip my driver $5. Boom. Pleaded guilty to stealing more than $1.5 million. It says of food, primarily chicken wings. I thought it said like she was doing some kind of billing scam.
The West Side. Now, this is a live picture right now, and you can see that crime tape is up. This is at the Deja Vu Showgirls Club at Clinton Street and Polk Street. Witnesses say as many as 4 people were shot. We do have calls into police for more information, and we will update you as soon.
Well, you know what that means. Cucky. I'm gonna leave all the rest of this shit for tomorrow. You guys probably would have rejoiced over the woman running over the cop. It was gonna be today's "What the fuck is going on in Fort Worth" segment. But like, I was bored to tears by Trump. So it's time for Puppy Bus.
All right, so we got Bentley in the bus. And he is the first of what we call the Meathead group. Let's get Trooper. Here we go.
Oh, thank you, Lady B. I'm glad to be back on Twitch.
This is American Bully, and he is an absolute tank.
Oh, when I said pizza cup, I meant
steady,
pizza sauce.
Strong, and an absolute good boy.
You get a cup of pizza sauce.
So here we have Slade. He's still just a pup.
But now I'm confused because I ordered a pizza the other day as well.
Go ahead, Slade.
So when I ordered my calzone and my wings,
he is a big pup, and he definitely fits into the what we call the meat category.
I got my rewards points that got me like a $10 off. So I ordered a pizza, and I ordered a pizza sauce cup with it.
Getting his grease.
It's different than the pizza sauce cup that comes with the calzone. The calzone's like a marinara sauce.
The biggest dog of the crew today.
Pizza sauce cup was like
Lola.
The pizza sauce is actually on the pizza.
Caucasian Shepherd.
That makes sense.
A little over 2 years old. And she is
gorgeous.
A very big and very good girl.
She is gorgeous.
Smelling. Who was in my seat?
Oh my God, I would cuddle that puppy.
Good girl, Lola. Let's go get Mika and Wesson. So here we have Wesson, a pit mix, and then we got Mika.
She herds Caucasians.
And let's go on the bus, guys. Come on, load up. You two can grab this first seat here. Lola's got to say hi. Wesson, up, up, up.
Oh, have you never seen
And last we have
Puppy Bus Meaty Winch? This is Mo Mountain Mutts.
Lab mix. He is a big boy.
This is in Alaska.
This is the Meathead crew. I think you can see by the size and stature of all these dogs how they got that nickname. But this is a bunch of good girls and boys that are all very well trained.
The Meathead crew.
So let's all be on our best behavior, and when we get back on the bus, we can help ourselves to a lovely traits treat. So let's go have fun. We got Trooper with a big old drooper.
I don't think it's a rescue. I think it's a like a doggy daycare. I think it's kind of bougie people.
Good boy, Slade. Some snow zoomies.
But I might be wrong. But I think it's a daycare behavioral training kind of deal.
Slade and Bentley really like to.
They posted this like 2 months ago.
Hey, Wesson.
Maybe even just a few weeks ago.
You sniffing there, Lola?
But it's snowing. But it's also Alaska, so
Lola, come.
I don't know. It's summertime in Alaska, right?
Let's go throw this poop away.
Could it be snowing?
And a thing we do is just have individual dogs, just come check in with us. So let's
That's true, and it's not in like a big city in Alaska either.
Here, Bentley, good boy. Come here, buddy.
I can't remember what the name of the city is.
Good boy, Bentley. Yes. What a good dog. What a good boy.
Or township or whatever the fuck.
Just kind of keep them always, ready to listen to us.
Skagway, Alaska.
Slade.
It's a dog training company in Skagway, Alaska.
What a good dog. Oh, we got Wesson too. And we got Mika. Oh, hi puppies. Hi, what good dogs. Thanks for checking in with me. Okay, break, let's go.
They do pick up dogs on a bus. It does seem bougie. And they seem like, nice breeds of dog that you might pay for at a store, as opposed to one that you got at a shelter. I'm a shelter animal kind of guy myself.
All right, it is time to load up. Let's go.
Oh, are we gonna get treats? Or rescue. Mine technically didn't come from a shelter, but they would have went to a shelter.
Fantastic, and listened so well on the walk. Lola says, hey, can we turn the heat down? It's always too warm for her. But for behavior, we're all going to have a traits treat on the bus. So enjoy
I had a
your
very
couple
nice
of
life.
treats.
I didn't need that.
Trump is still going on.
Go through all the other
Wesson.
stuff and run at the.
It's
Mika.
still going on.
Bert.
So cute.
Bentley.
I'm like falling asleep right now.
Slade. A Drooper, Mr. Trooper. Easy Trooper. Good boy. Please stay in your seats until we get to your house. Keep your paws to yourself. And your tails out of the aisle.
I'm going to try to get noticed by Hassan. I'm going to send you guys over. I'm going to raid Hassan.
Are you willing and capable of offloading the other pups in the remote?
See if I can get on his radar. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live.